still in a rampaging slaughter, I walked through the dungeon simulation, knocking on a door, opening it slowly. "Who is there?" answered a demon, looking at me surprised and befuddled. It rushed quickly to take a bite out of me. I delivered a serious uppercut to the demon while simultaneously kneeing its balls. I instantly annihilated it. I realized that even my presence and strength were weak, but my supreme combat skills made this region easier to push to the limits. I had to head to the forbidden area. After trying to head to the forbidden area, which was looming with countless zombies, the zombies discovered my presence and instantly charged after me. They were numerous, and all of them couldn't resist my body. I knew I was hot, but goddamn, I was here having zombie bitches chasing after me for my heart and even brains. My intellect is truly frightening.
I beg to differ, sir.
No rush, no rush. I will be back to give autographs. Stay calm, ladies. Wait for me and stay gentle. I can see how you all are dying for me. As I hopped away, looking for the boss of the Forbidden Zone, I landed safely. The system alerted me that I had discovered the boss region. Looking around, nothing seemed right. Despite being in the boss region, it was silent, and there was no movement. The system alerted me that the boss, Corpse Chewer, was charging towards me, and my senses were on high alert. The boss surprisingly came out from the ground, catching me by surprise. With seriousness, I began to rush through the dungeon boss, leaping into the air and aiming my dagger at the dungeon boss, ready to use my trump card. Great energy was released, which began to vaporize the boss when I used my ace, the Sword Storm Tempest. A beam of energy condensed at one point, and with a loud boom, the battle seemed to have concluded. Drained and panting for air, I looked in the direction of the dungeon boss and was shocked that the battle had concluded with only that one move. This made me realize how terrifying my ability power was, able to even injure a Grand Marshal. Even a level 2 mutant wouldn't be able to stand a chance against this power I possess, while being at 0 order. The system rewarded me with gloves that increased the agile movement of my hands, increasing my stats by 1 in agility, and increasing my shooting stability by 15%. Having put on the white gloves, I knew that this was a rare drop. Even a second order awakener wouldn't be able to get a full set of such equipment, let alone a piece of equipment. Since my mission of testing the Sword Storm Tempest had been accomplished, and I had fortunately received a rare piece of equipment, there was nothing else to do. Exiting the test dungeon, I handed the administrator the token and thanked him. The administrator was surprised at how fast I exited the dungeon, thinking I was frightened by the presence of zombies. Little did he know that not only had I broken a record for the test dungeon clearance, but I had also set a record for the fastest time slaying the dungeon boss. "Who let that team into the test dungeon?" said an old man, reprimanding the administrator. Despite being told not to allow anyone into the test dungeon, the old man, angered by the administrator's silence, scolded him about the test dungeon's difficulty. But the confused administrator replied that he had not let a team into the test dungeon. This surprised the old man, who asked if no team had entered. Then how did the mutant boss dungeon die? The old man realized that even the white government had dropped the ball, asking how a level 2 order could enter a mere test dungeon. Unable to believe it, the administrator told the old man it was I who had entered the dungeon just now. Terrified by the feat displayed on the screen, he had never seen the Hoxia safe zone. He was shocked, as I had told him I was on my way to test something. The understanding that they thought was impossible to achieve made it clear that I was truly a monster. No predator with no equal in the same category. Walking back home, passing through the market where every ordinary people selling their products exchanging for equal goods they lack. Seeing injured innocent people, I knew I don't have time to waste and should quickly find ways to increase my strength as fast as I can. Seeing the chaos around me and the little peace around, I knew that the disaster year later from now, where the Heavenly Wing safe zone was reduced to debris and death rate, will be high, never second to the world's end, because if a tide of level 3 mutants, knowing in 10 days there will be zombie tide in the urban area of the Heavenly Wind City, forming a tide of zombies that will attack the Heavenly Wind safe zone. This was the danger that killed Mother and my dear little sister Xiaoan. Time was ticking with my hard work, and realized to get stronger, will I have a chance to change the history? At the headquarters of the capital safe zone of the Central Army Group, headquarters, where my indefecation information was presented on huge hologram panel, and the big shots began to discuss that it was fortunate, since having couple of high S-rank talents awakened, since the safe zone's level 3 have high casualties. Another said they need to gather resources and nurture such talents quickly to their potential as fast, so they could have better control with their abilities. One of the people had a suggestion to incorporate me into the capital military region and have me appointed as a commander-in-chief instructor. Another mustached man realized that the suggestion of having me in the capital military region was a chance to nurture me and break the barrier between level 3 and level 4. The white-haired guy rebuked the thought that even those who are at the peak of level 3 in the military, including the commander-in-chief, were unable to reach level 4 because they had not trained with the best resources from the beginning. The mustached guy agreed with the claim that if they raised their recently highly awakened individuals with the best resources, level 4 would be close to reach. A man with authority and demeanor said I was to be incorporated into the seedling program and would be trained as a #1 prospect. I would be immediately transferred to the capital military region. An old man with glasses objected to that proposition, which made the other people in the room wonder why he chose that. The one who proposed the decision asked why the old man was rejecting me despite my talent. The old man with glasses told everyone that if they had not read the last paragraph of the urgent report, they would know that I had awakened a psychic system. Since the beginning of the past 70 years, there had never been a level 3 psychic system, and those who have awakened the psychic system generally have the weakest physical abilities. They are usually in an auxiliary position. Without the protection of the other awakened, fighting alone is suicidal. As for a single mission promotion, advancing from level 1 to level 2 depends on luck, and moving from the peak of level 2 to level 3, as all of you know, made them come back to reality. Telling them that the number of successful promotions of an awakened with a psychic system was 0. No one in history has ever attained level 3. The room went silent, everyone processing what was said by the old man. That's true, agreed the dominant man, coming to terms with what the old man had said, and he agreed to lower my importance. All the resources should not be wasted on me. What a pity.
The next morning,
The Grand Marshal had received a letter from the higher-ups notifying him that I was denied selection and that my importance had been lowered, agreeing with the reasoning of the higher-ups that indeed a psychic system awakened didn't have much potential. The guard who had delivered the letter asked if they still needed to treat me with high respect as before. The Grand Marshal questioned the guards, stating that my awakening had no potential, and told him to withdraw the personnel sent to protect me. The guard asked about the investigation he had ordered. The Grand Marshal told him to cancel the investigation since I was trash. What was there to investigate? The guard understood. The elite soldiers protecting me told me that my treatment plan had been cancelled by the higher-ups, and that there was no need for me to participate in the seedling program. They said goodbye. How is it possible that my potential was only at level 2? I asked. But the guards had already left. I knew my talent was high at SSS, and even though it showed as SS, it was still enough to prove my potential. I came to understand that even at this time, psychic levels were considered garbage, since most awakeners could reach level 4 due to insufficient psychic levels, and it was difficult to increase them. This led to the disregard for all psychic system users. This made me disappointed that the seniors still didn't see the true value of psychic power. I began to contemplate whether I should go and tell the seniors that the way to reach level 4 was through psychic awakening. Never mind, the priority right now is to restore my level back to level 3, and by then, all issues will be solved. Right now, I have a sword system, and my ace is the sword Storm Tempest. This start is much better than what I heard in my previous life. Now, I should just start hunting mutants in the wild forest after sunset. I was approached by 2 people asking me to join their team to hunt a level 1 mutant and gain some experience. I know both of them, and continued walking while the yellow-haired one shouted for me to follow them, assuring me that I would be safe. I turned to them, telling them that a level 1 mutant doesn't provide much experience, so hunting it with a group won't yield significant benefits. The back-haired one, annoyed, shouted at me for being bold and for being alone while still acting confidently. They surrounded me, trying to intimidate me with pointless threats. Pissed off by these idiots' senseless threats and feeling a murderous aura, I told them to scram or they would get a one-way ticket to the afterlife. One of the guys realized how cold my eyes looked, and my stare felt like that of a beast. The group realized that such eyes belonged to a person who had experienced life and death situations countless times, bear the eyes of a predator, and began to ponder, who the hell was I? They looked at the person walking away, and no one dared to say anything or do anything. Bodies were stiff, unable to move. Walking deep into the wild forest, I knew that this forest decay was one of the most dangerous places outside the heavily wind-safe zone. And if I remembered correctly, there should be 2 level 1 mutants in the deep deepest region of the forest, and one of them is a peak level 1 mutant. Looking at the system panel, I saw that to be promoted from level 0 to level 1, I was supposed to kill 3 level 1 mutants. I realized I had killed a level 1 mutant in the test dungeon. Even though the experience was halved, it was still a level 1 mutant. I have to kill 2 mutants in the forest to level up, but a creature seems to be approaching behind me at great speed. Realizing this, I reached for my rifle and swiftly turned to face the incoming creature. I had to save my sword, Storm Tempest. And not only do I need psychic experience, but I also need to strengthen my psychic abilities. I saw dozens of incoming demons approaching me with ferocity. Those who awakened the psychic system have weak physical bodies. I knew I had to change this stereotype in the eyes of the seniors. I shot at the dozens of demons while keeping my distance from them. Not just anyone, but whoever reaches level 3 must find a way to physically awaken. Otherwise, it will be too late when the level 4 mutant arrives. I knew I must find a way to make the seniors aware of the importance of the psychic system. The sounds of gunshots were heard by the group I had met earlier, asking if it could be me since I gone to the direction the gunfire sounds were being heard. Another realized it come from the direction of the tree demon. The guy shouted for his group to run since I was asking for death. Long twigs rushed towards me, about to crush me. I dodged the incoming attacks. System prompt kept warning me of an incoming peak level 1 mutant tree demon and a middle level 1 binder. This caught me off guard, not expecting to both mutants to be coming at me at once. I came face to face with the tree demon, which was huge in size, but I was unable to see the second mutant.